very much sort of revision type things. The ideas of percentages, discounts, increases, price, all that sort of thing. We're just going to do that today. So we're managing money. So that's the sort of subtopic we're talking about, managing money. We need to make sure that our spending doesn't exceed our income. Let's click on that switch there. Okay, so we're going to make sure budgeting. The whole point is you're going to make sure, Alex, the spending doesn't exceed your income. What happens? You get a large credit card debt, or you go into debt, and you have to pay it off. It takes a lot of time with it. Obviously, part of this course, talk a lot about interest, appreciation, all these sort of concepts as well. So we'll have a look at just firstly discounts and percentage changes in prices of goods and shops or whatever it might be, could be services. We're talking about basic percentage changes of things. Okay? So the first thing is a shirt is reduced from $125 by 35%. What is the new price? Alright, so two ways to do it. The first way. You find what 35% of $125 is. 35 over 100 times 125, and that is equal to, Franco, find that for me please. $43.75, and then you take this amount off the original. 125 minus 43.75, which is going to be $81.25. Good. Alright, so we've got $81.25. That's method number one. We have another method we can use. The second method is just to say, well, the new price is going to be 65% of the original. So if instead of subtracting 35%, if I find what 65% of this amount is, that will be the new price. So that's just a one-step exercise. 65 over 100 multiplied by $125, and that is equal to the same thing, $81.25. Okay, so two methods. Obviously this one is easier for most people to get because it's thinking, okay, find the 35 and subtract it. This one is quicker, and it shows good sort of conceptual understanding about what's happening with percentages. Which way do I prefer? I don't care what you use, because both of them are really fast. Okay, if you know how to do it, 2 steps, boom, boom, or just 1 step, it doesn't really matter. Difference of a few seconds. I would use this way, but that's just a bit of personal. I don't mind either way what you do with it, so that's fine. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, so 65 is 100% minus the 35%, this one, equals 65. Okay, so we were saying, okay, well, if you take away 35% of the price, what's left over is 65%. Okay? Alright, moving on. Just move down a little bit. Now, next one. Between Wednesday and Thursday, it's a bit of a, I'm not sure why petrol prices changed so much. I'm sure it's to do with demand and supply, but anyway, because the actual price they pay at the processing center, or the oil that's drilled out on the ground and then refined, doesn't change from day to day, but that's okay. Between Wednesday and Thursday, the petrol prices increased by 15%. I don't know if that's true, but it does increase by something. If the price on Wednesday was 125 cents per litre, what is the new price? Okay, so the Wednesday price is 125 cents per litre. What's the price on Thursday? If you want to think about that. Again, we can do it two methods. Alright, so first method, find what 15% of 125 is. Excuse me. What's the point of what? It aligns the board and the projector and what's happening with the sensor. Okay, so 15 over 100, you see now it's writing where I'm writing rather than somewhere else. Okay, 15 over 100, 15% times 125, we'll just work in cents, is equal to, what's that, Brett? $18.75. Good. Alright, and then we do, what do we have to do with this $18.75? Okay, we have to add it on. So 125 plus 18.75 equals 143.75. Alright, not dollars, sorry, cents. Yeah, or to one decimal place, because sometimes petrol prices are to one decimal place. But either way, it's fine. We can just do it to one decimal place or the nearest cent. Just a note about rounding things. You can round things unless the question specifies round it to 2 or round it to 3 or whatever. You can round it to whatever you want, as long as you say what you're rounding to. If you want to round to 5 decimal places, you go right ahead. Just make sure you do it accurately, step by step. Say at the end, round it to 5 decimal places. Okay? Because, well, in Marty's case, yeah, it is good. I'm just saying, generally speaking, as long as you specify, that's fine. Money, when you're working with dollars and cents, dollars need to be only to 2 because we only have cents. We don't usually use decimal places. Alright, the second method is that if you add on 15% to the 100%, which is the original price, it is 115% of the original. So 115% of the original price we want to find. So the second method, we say, well, what's 115% of multiplied by the 125 cents? And you would find that it's the same, 143.75 cents. Okay? Any questions? Making sense so far? Should all look very familiar. The final example I'm going to do is the sort of getting your head around a little bit. It can be difficult for some. You've seen it before a few times, but we'll just go over it again. So the price of an antique chair increases by 15% to $3,450. What was the price before the increase? And actually, just as a side note, a little while ago, I don't know if I was in a dentist or something, I picked up this chair magazine about design and chairs, and no joke, they were like dining chairs that were $5,000 each. Designed by so-and-so from Denmark. Like $3,000, $6,000 for a chair. Pretty expensive chair. Anyway, that's okay. Alright, so we're saying the price of the antique chair increases by 15% to $3,450. What was the price before the increase? So we've got to think about this. What percent of the original is this price? So 100% is the price we're trying to find. Alright, so we're trying to find what 100% is in dollars. So how can I write this as a percentage of the original? How many percent of the original is 3,450? Yeah, it's 115, because after you've added the 15% on, you get this 3,450. So $3,450 is 115% of the original price. If I say unitary method, are you aware of this method? Unitary method. Find what 1% is and then times it by 100. So maybe? Alright. That's fine. We'll go. So if I just move down a little bit more. Okay, so what we then need to do is we say, well, if this is 115%, how do we find what 1% is? What do we have to do to 115 to get down to 1? Yeah, 115%. So what happens is this. 115%, you can think of it like this, equals 3,450. So 1% equals, to get down here, you've divided by 115. 3,450 divided by 115. So 1% of the price is what? Anyway, so does anybody find what 1% is? Doing things all the time. Correct. What is it? Just 30. Really? It's as if I designed this question. Right, good. So 30 is the 1%. So how do we find what 100% is? Times it by 100. Okay, so 100% equals 30 times 100. So the original price was $3,000. And it's good to have a concluding sentence. The original price of the chair was $3,000. Any questions? Best thing is to give it a go and ask me about a specific one, but if there's anything you want clarified about this example, you can go right ahead. Okay. Good? Alright, so we're going to do exercise 3.5 and 3.6, I believe. So work on those, and you should be. Hang on.